So, friends from the 4th Estate, Mr. Minister, Minister of Youth, and Madam Khadija, I want to welcome you all to the second press conference since we take over as a new leadership at the Ministry of Information. You know, because we care so much for make sure say we engage with citizens and the media. We get workshop we start yesterday for ministers, but because the minister and the team they care and the government care, say we will always give people the information we want how government they work. We beg and tell them, say we no want to miss this press conference because we don't already start, and we want to respect the 4th Estate, and we want also to respect citizens them for giving information. Today we get the Minister of Youth Affairs, we have Mr. Oman Bangua, we have the Minister, we are not clap for our video today, for can talk to me. Remember, say on Saturday, we celebrate International Youth Day, where no say a investment team for Cancelli. They also, we don't get the Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mr. Timothy Musa Kaba, but unfortunately, at the moment, in because of other engagements then. And therefore, we apologize, and we will say we will get in succeeding times then for the press conference. We also get between Madam Khadija, we like the minister, we don't say last week that because we want to make them say this platform, the platform also for the citizens then, the opportunity for can talk to Sierra Leoneans and the media. We also don't make sure say we get one person from the civic space for always can talk to it. On that note, I would like to hand over to the host, who is the Minister of Information and Civic Education, for an opening for me to carry on the press conference. Mr. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Minister Yusuf Keke Thomas Nandi. I know saying a household name, everybody know you, but important to let me introduce you properly. I have this opportunity for tell the media, members of the 4th Estate, to thank again for UNACAM. As I say, we really try hard for set a new standard and a new tradition. I already plenty feedback, some people can say this is final, but we hope they go maintain. I go assure the people of this country and the media partner and say not just that we will maintain, we will improve. This is not the start. We promise to say the vision we President Bill gets, now for what we do as best as we can. So I want to tell Minister of Foreign Affairs thank you again for willing to continue for hosting. I also want to particularly acknowledge the media partner that they carry live. I don't say AYV they carry live. Of course, the national broadcaster SLBC they carry live. Some of them follow we as well on the page, the Ministry of Information and Civic Education we page and they carry live, and also get other partners there as well with the live, Unity Broadcasting and others. And then there are a whole set of community radio partners there across this country. They carry this press conference live. This is an opportunity, a part of not just with press, but with civic engagement initiative will just start. The people of this country get rights for get access to information. They get rights for interact with the policymaker them, with the leader them in this country, and we job now for continue for bring them people here to learn and talk. We do this press conference on a weekly basis, while other people they don't say, we get for come up with more initiatives than for bring the people that will lead, when they work for una way in our house to una. We get for bring them kind of our community them, we get for bring them come now on our phone them, we get for give opportunity for them to interact. So speaking of interaction, una way we get the flyer for this press conference no say a QR code day. If you use that QR code there, you go na slido.com, you get an opportunity for sending the question in advance. I have to apologize to the one who only sent questions specifically for the Minister of Foreign Affairs, which I will try to do. I'll find out if through that platform we can go for send back written responses. Because people have already sent plenty of questions into the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The one who would already send a question into the Minister of Youth and to the Sister Khadija over there, I'll show you see throughout this discussion. I will go through each and every one of them questions a day. In fact, I don't share the question into them in advance, so that when they give the initial statement, they will try to incorporate the answer into the question they initially. If they miss anything, I will keep track. The goal of this now for say the government, they listen to you, the government, they talk to you, now you get the government, now you will work for. So we want for them, we continue for build the exchange. What we go for to do again is at the start of the press conference, we will collect weekly updates from all ministries, departments, and agencies, and we will filter them. And at the start, we will provide some highlights to the press, to the people of Salone. So not to just the people in a panel no more. So if you still can this press conference and ask, of course, as information minister, I mean, responsibility for answer and talk on behalf of the government. So while as we see with this flyer this week, we not just provide the name of who are there, we provide themes. So we will prepare who are the press who are the camp. But also, I want to invite you to say, elect person name no day. We will get question about the government. This interaction and opportunity for them myself. Family and hosts as well, if you get generic question them, use the platform we provide for sending question them, and we will do the best for prepare and for get the answer then to you. So I just want to remind you again, you can use the QR code, or you can go now slido.com, slido.com, and use the code number 3782090. 3782090. You can ask the question to any of you there about anything about your government. We may not always have all the answers for you immediately, but I commit to you one thing. We go find the answer day, and we bring the answer they can to you. At the end of this conversation, we also will put out to the public another QR code for letting you give me feedback on the press conference, on the content, on the mic. This one will go up soon. Alright, good. Definitely something to shake. Let's hope it works, but it's a stream if it doesn't. Okay, thank you. So last week, after the press conference, we will contact the journalists that will be there. We will be getting contact for make them share feedback with the send a form. I just want to provide to now in the interest of transparency, just some generic feedback we get from that post press conference survey they will be doing. 83% of people will respond. They rate their satisfaction as either very high or high. Generally, people will be satisfied with the last press conference we will get. We ask them specific questions about the information we provide, about the respective, the security sector, and in general, we will get very positive feedback. The reason people come back now, people can particularly praise say this building is accessible compared to side of the goods today, and then people follow do this. Some people then say they want the press conference be longer because they want to talk more. On that day, we will continue to think about that. But one of the things we make we start on time now also for respect on our time. And the one that they carry will be live. We want to say now this time we do one, we make sure say we do that timely. And then we particularly ask on the question of Creole. I want to take it to Epic Radio, and others, and we will pick up this conversation about the use of Creole as a medium of communication. If I pull the acts as minister way not possible for that pull, people will not say, I don't be a pretty vocal advocate for how communicate to the people of Salone in a language that they understand. And me believe say Creole na a particular language that the best tool we get for reach as many people as possible. I also want to acknowledge say we get some international press where they attend the press conference and they ask specifically about their ability for quotes. So well, if na Creole, how will we for quotes directly and make sure say it accurate? The attitude to these things is if we get the values we do agree on, we not follow communicate. Even when you need the quotes, not follow communicate. So what do we do? We find a way where for just satisfy the few, not will impact or affect the majority. But then journalists and they said, then the guys forget that they put stuff for them fill the information on time. So one of the things they would agree is they want to get the capacity for loosely translate Creole and good one and send them to we, and I will commit for work with the principal and for them to approve what they say quickly in English and send them back. So again, I just want to emphasize that we goal now for continue for provide information for credible, factual, timely engagement with people of Salone. Now una na the boss. We a work for now. Before I turn over to the panel, I just want to provide one key update. Some of them would also see the Ministry of Local Governments and Community Affairs. Then one family know say the paramount chief na Dansoglia chiefdom, some Colony district, currently they under suspension within the investigator for where he make what they call inciting political statements. We get the tendency for disturb the peace and for undermine the ethnic cohesion within a Salone. The ministry don't follow due process. They don't ask the Justice Momoja Stephen to serve as the commissioner for investigate the allegations of the who are mentioned and the allegations of incitement and breach of ethics and self-regulation. We immediately the president appoints Justice Momoja Stevens for oversee this case, and then we do a proper investigation, and then we will get more updates on that situation there. But one of the local news then from my colleague minister we want to follow emphasize here, so in case people can get any questions on them thing. For now, I can turn to first the Minister of Youth. As you know, August 12th has been the International Day of Youth. And His Excellency President Bill, one of the big five agenda, I can like to remind people of the big five so I don't forget. Number one, I forfeit Salone. Number two, now human capital development for build 21st century skill and for prepare we for leading the fourth industrial revolution. Number three, I did the minister cap. Youth employment. Very, very important. Youth employment. And then we get number four and number five who they deal with infrastructure and technology and reform of the public service. So big parts under number three, President in manifesto very clear, he said they provide 500,000 jobs. I see, but Commando asked me a question they're already using our platform. They will send this job, they will be in now. But this we could do you. So one turn to the minister for, I don't send out some of them questions the way they ask, or let's start. We just provide an update on what the ministry they do, who said they do right now, put the initial plans there for fulfill the excellency mandates, and then we will turn to Khadija, we are youth activists, feminists. We don't speak up particularly on the challenges that young people in the face with regards to the drug crisis we get in this country. We will lay the foundation for go in-depth on this question of the drug crisis at this country for today's press conference. Next week we will follow up as well on that topic. We will get other experts that will look at them from different angles there as well. But without further ado, I can hand now over to Akintel and say, na the minister the first youth president we appoint. I do well, we make president we say, that being what a young man named young people in the inside cabinet. So that is the pace setter among we young people that I first before even they appoint the chief minister into cabinet. So now one of the outstanding ministers in the government, we very clear that they don't reappoint as Minister of Youth. And I'm glad to say today make time for catching to the people of Salon through this platform with the Ministry of Information and Civic Education they provide. Minister Oman.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Information and Civic Education, and with Deputy Minister, Yusuf Keke Thomas Andy, members of the press, members of the Court Estates, and the people who are really watching this interview. You know, we don't go. I remember sometimes in the first time when we talk about press conference, my sister Namaboka, they call me, hey, come for Philomena. This is a misunderstanding. That is to say, that English is okay, and I don't understand. Tell them and then begin to create. So, Honorable Minister, kudos to you that my sister Willie Maboka, they don't today to watch me. And you don't call me Pastor Monsen. The people don't call, oh, I see now I'm up today. I really appreciate that. This time around, they know exactly question the way I go for weekend, and I will answer again. The people don't remember vividly over 5 years ago, when His Excellency the President blessed me with the opportunity for serve young people of this country. You know, actually, I come out region, I come out to that one you say, like Papa, like Mama. He gave me the mandate of leadership for the young people, and he asked me go serve young people of Sierra Leone. And that pretext day, he always tell me anything we do now, people get to judge you after. And I've done with honesty and sincerity within the best of what you do for me to achieve one day. When he been blessed me the first time, you know, when I talk about Ministry of Youth Affairs, nobody, as you say, Ministry of Youth Affairs, now corruption, indiscipline, no development pattern, we can't argue. Nobody, anything I leave business, so this. But then like today, I'll proud for tell people and say, if you look at the audit report and other mechanism the way they be used for its people, then I'll tell you the Ministry of Youth Affairs is one of the most transparent and accountable ministries. That no means say we get challenges in management and other things then. That I make every payment with the ministry they do development partner we make sure so we must get a press release for inform the public and investors. What side the ministry believe before my appointment, trust not believe, confidence not believe, and young people not get that self-esteem for student advocates. And we always say, you know, they work for young people, we don't work with them, and that's one thing we always push. We get different space when they talk about young people. We get young people who believe in today for today. We get young people who believe in skills. We get young people who believe in entrepreneurship. We get young people who graduate, who believe say they're supposed to do national service and get job. The areas that they will not try for do a whole lot. One of the biggest programs we do last year, agriculture. I'll tell you, members of the press and members of the Fourth Estate, the current and the future of Sierra Leone are agriculture. And we don't move outside agriculture, and agriculture always the massive entrepreneurship. The current and the future of this country are entrepreneurship and agriculture. Why so? And with generation very lucky, Honorable Minister, today we get a very aging farmers then. But I'll tell you with the free quality education, with the platform where President build up with the flagship program in the first time, now the education. With time to come, we'll get one of the most educated and innovative farmers then. That is to say, before this time, you know, get young people and we believe in agriculture, and whole and cutlass. we need to try to bring innovative and modern ways of doing agriculture. We buy over 2,000 tractors, over 4,000 or 8,000 farm equipment. We train young people in our Sunguya project. You're surprised to know say we don't ever get trained and qualified young people for drive tractor. We'll do that one day. We get program we call it in fishery. I'll tell you, I know the minister and members of the Port Estate and members of the press present on that. So me, as a former banker, former assistant credit analyst, I'll tell you exactly say, if you want to get returns, trust young people. When you allow young people to take credit on a soft loan, on a way they don't feel too much, trust me, they get this for feedback because they know see the credibility, the integrity, and the future tied into that. The European Fishing Project are one of the most successful projects that evolving from. One of the minister and members of the press remember a couple of weeks ago, I believe the press release will pay contractors about 4.something billion. People even ask, you mean you left 4.something billion at your account, you go into election? And I say, well, you work fine, you say, it is. I will well sure say, this government will come back and that money the left hand will be allowed, not deliver to left hand, they will allow due process to be followed. Because for you, our contracts, you have to go through due process for NPPA, finance and other things. Then. So now, out of that 70 boats we've been buying for, now we don't get the procurement, we don't pay contractors for the machine and other things then for about 4.something billion, and we'll get another one we will pay very soon for etc. So one thing I need to learn is that we give the young people or trust them to go work and pay back. And the returns, I'll say that I'll challenge any commercial bank in this country, we hold the money that they hold, we no one reduce the credit risk and reduce the rate at which they lend young people and they get to be affected. We'll get the car wash. People see this car wash, say, oh, these are young people that is young enough. Society don't ignore a whole lot of people and are always asked, and this are worth advocating, with criminal procedure act has to be located. Today we send young people in prison for minor crimes. And when they come out to society, they come on them. Society they say, this is whatever we go. Let me get alternative form of punishment, alternative form of treating the young people in there. And we get another project. Let's keep connect hubs. Today, when you go Mongo, Calabar district, the only government building we did it, we need to reconstruct that because we get this principle that we know they left nobody behind. President Bio believes safe for, and no matter what you say, if any safe, you get a stake in governance, you get a stake in the Ministry of People Affairs. And through that, get computers then, get internet, everything. Not only that, we do about 3 of them, information study manifesto, based on the impact of the Engine Connect hubs in His Excellency the President, in his wisdom, say, we ensure that they want to stay right across. In terms of access to finance, now one thing, members of the Port Estate and members of the press or colleague ministers, when you go to a bank for take loan, you get all the ideas, you don't credit, entrepreneurship, you want to do this. But at the same time, they will tell you, say, we're going to bank and they ask you for collateral. And you not get, if I can't get oceans, you know, there was one more countries on. Then they actually say, give me oceans, give me Ocean book and this. So access to finance, now one thing we will push. If you watch BAU now, the body and last year, we give over $2 million to entrepreneurs. Ministry of Youth and UNDP do that one day. How we do on this? And on the principle of transparency and accountability, we always push say, what do you do for young people, allow third parties to come inside, allow third parties to do this. So then go right across the country and do selection of entrepreneurs. Hundreds apply. Then do shortlisting. Then you can pitch your idea. One of those days when you know who, you who. And you know how we believe as a government, because His Excellency the President, nobody hear me. Nobody hear me. Not only know who he is. How you will come and defend, how you will come and defend what you say that you do. Because we don't have packaging. Somebody can write for you fine, somebody can do this for you, you can't present. But when they can't pay you before crowd now, you don't need to study English. But what you do, what you get, what you do, for you to talk and for you to defend them. We get a whole lot of grants. And as I speak on the International Youth Day, the theme for this year are green skills for young people. Looking at green skills for young people. Skills where young people and jobs, where young people and business, the way young people do, will not affect the environment. What's in that mean? Clean energy, digital skills, e-commerce. Say for instance, Orange Cigarian. 2001 to date, they train over 3,000 young people on digital skills. And out of that 3,000, probably, I will tell people of this country, say, over 400 get permanent job already. That's not the digital space. We'll talk about e-commerce. E-commerce, today you understand, say, the fastest way you sell are online. Today they buy less online, they buy less online because young people don't know the space. Say, I can take my phone and see what you want to sell and see what you want to do, and we will buy it. And at that time we celebrate this year how we will create green jobs for the young people. You find out today most children make out of town and get solar energy. The people effect of solar energy are children make out of town here like this. If you be there, you get fridge, you get fridge, and you go harvest you concuba, you fruits them, you know guys I will keep them, you go do the fish farming, you know guys I will keep them, you will find it very difficult to preserve that food there. But with the Ministry of Energy, the solar energy, call it clean energy, right across today, you will know many children them. If you resist on a term, today they enjoy solar. And that will be talking, and that person they push for. So what will they say about that? Out of that light, where they put people in the way get shop, people in the way get businesses, then the businesses they boom. Yeah? And again, when we talk about green energy, when we talk about digital skills, it's about how we bring jobs, now how we will get jobs, then we not affect anybody. We not affect the environment. And maybe there are now one example of green job. Say for instance, the fish farming we need to do. There's money in aquaculture. How young people will sit down, you create, you buy the fingerlings, you buy that you feed, you do spawning, and artificial learning. Now one thing we people do always make use of. You see, TikTok all this so you learn everything on TikTok. I use 3 hours or 2 hours of my time on TikTok for land of goat farming, fish farming. Duckling, we find a way to implement them. So I use this platform also for advocating. Let me use social media to real advantage. On the question the way the Honorable Minister said and other things no
people in Senna.
People in Senna, you send them to me. Honorable Minister. Yes, I'm very conscious of what I do.
Yes.
But when you talk to young people now you send them to me, people then send them to you. Yes. One therefore asked, somebody asked, they say, most of the questions they get to do with when we will actually implement a good agenda for job creation for young people in this country. You know, sometimes when we talk about job creation, the jobs they available, but I'll tell you, we get limited skills, we certified. For instance, I don't work at the extractive industry as chief accountant. I mean at the mining sector. Then they bring Romanians, then they bring Australians, then they bring Tanzanians for can do job with the EU they do now. When His Excellency blessed me for being minister, what do we do? Through the Ministry of Higher Education and for ensure city, they get people who get certificate in plumbing, you get people who get certificate in medicine, you get people who get certificate in steel bending. And with the Sumuya project again, we ensure we go train young people how to drive heavy equipment, how to drive tractor. Today, the Sumuya project, 90% of the people there will not be beneficiary of that project. They all get job because we know we get certificate. For that employer employ you, you know what you have next and say as a drive. You will ask for the certificate. And NCTVA, with the ministry, they ensure we will get that one done. And now you don't forget say His Excellency the President, we don't lay foundation for jobs. When you talk about jobs, it's not just government. When you look at the space, government gets your role to play. How many jobs government needs? But very smaller compared to the private sector. Now I make His Excellency always a push for private sector investment. For instance, before he became president, 2018, a lot of money in the ever did. Leone, when on the African mineral, all did not shut down because of bad business and bad governance and bad investment. It ensures say through leadership, the investment in the day come back and that create thousands of jobs. You get the local contractors, you get the subcontractors, all the one with the SL mining and all. Today you get more large-scale mining companies, where you get thousands of jobs. So the platform of the day, in terms of trade, ask how many business, how many companies in. Since alone will sell oil, will export oil, and vices and job, they make depending on the farm. So the person will ask about when we will begin to see real job thing for young people in this country. Now a process. Imagine if we don't start this amount of transparency and accountability and good governance in the leadership 20 years, 30 years ago, they like to be one for day, and again, on the aspect of the big issue of the women and drugs and substance abuse, I always tell people this, it's unfortunate. But waiting to happen as alone, not different from waiting to happen in America and other parts of the world. But we will use a Sierra Leone solution for solve Sierra Leone problem. And in my own view, from somebody who come up from the extreme left of life, and to now, I can probably say, I don't need to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 presidents around the world, and I get colleague ministers. And from a monarchy pusher, a street boy, to a colleague minister now within the high table. Me pushing on this. Advocacy and awareness raising has to be community owned. That is to say, me for able to talk to my brother, Chernor, say, Mr. Pusher, see, but this thing what they do, he thinks say this is the right way, because she thinks say society ignore you, you will go do this. How he thinks say, we don't think say, even if you take a Latin will change, somebody has to talk to you. Why should we come on TV like how we cancel? It's a 2 hours talk, right? But me and you in a community, in the series of the talk, we monitor, we say, it has to be community owned, because we get to take leadership in that. Thank you. Okay.
I want to make sure you particularly address the questions around the Kush drug crisis, because plenty of the questions already even coming now, even as we talk. People they ask me about what government they do about that. I think I can put them all inside similar categories.
Yes. So what think government they do? Like for the past couple of days, there is no place, no sign of day in the region. We get cabinet ministers for 2 consecutive days. They take the media, they sit on a panelist, they talk about drugs. Hey, drugs, they're a big cartel. Anything that really difficult to talk about, but what do we talk about now? It's about the substance. People think about push. We have over 21 substance for young people abuse, including that you nail polish where you keep my old school thing say and for polish nail. Due to social media and young people curiosity, when they use them, now that make they push them down to the society. With the same TikTok when they use for llama for men fish, how for men goats, people in the land for do the young thing, and young people they explore. So what we don't do, you don't ever get a government in this country, we not engage young people than this current government. We get young people, chief community leaders, village youth leaders, district youth leaders, and we get national youth council leaders. 156 youth leaders across the country get brand new Excel for TDC. Even as a Sidoya, most of them don't fall in village borders and youth leaders and say, the minister they can talk, I can't even tell talk this. That's on its own, we don't devolve, we don't try to send information to. So advocacy is really key. So what we don't do, we continue to push. Under the office of the presidency, mental health, drugs become addictive when you take one out of either peer group influence, out of curiosity, out of all the things. Then, when you can say become addictive, you become mental health. And under the presidency, before we go into election, there is a whole mental health secretariat where they establish for insurance. Me and you, the physical normal, but sometimes out of depression, the way we do things, we really depressed. So mental health, like countries and they will get a whole place where you get a phone line where you talk to people. Sometimes you can be so depressed, you don't get nobody for talk to. Yeah? So what we don't do as a government, like a collective effort from the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the police, from the ports, the last containers, the information how are they get them? And the feed the port authority, the new DG, then the deputy ECOWAS bill, and also the feed them with information. The Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Ministry of the ONS will feed them to information. They don't confiscate containers then and they don't destroy them. But like I say, community ownership. Now, me and you, everybody watch. When you get information, you should get a platform and you need information for freedom, and we say we will act on it. Thank you very much.
Voila. We want to tell thank you to the distinguished Minister of Inter-Affairs for that real comprehensive update today. On the drug crisis, I just want to reiterate for let people understand clearly. We acknowledge as a government that there is a crisis with the abuse of drugs in the country. As the minister say, like anything we President Bill don't do, you know, they just go somewhere, oh, do this, go attack this, lock them up. A comprehensive approach this government they take for fully understand this situation and tackle our attitudes. There is a supply problem outside the drugs in the country. But some people, if you say kush, you will just go stop kush completely. Like how the minister said, multiple substances then they will with people that they abuse. And so we deal with that obviously the supply chain problem. We also they look at the mental health situation because you don't elevate the issue of mental health to the highest level in the history of this country. You don't not just just before election, they launched a very special initiative in the office of the president. I don't name a mental health advisor. You don't strengthen the mental health institutions there, and then they put together a comprehensive plan for address this problem as a mental health situation. There's also the health problems, just the health crisis itself. And as I say, in the following weeks, maybe next week, we'll get the Minister of Health here to talk about that and other health updates as well. On what they do as well for provide a response to people that will get health problems then as a result of the use of drugs for help them bring them out of that. As a security issue, the Ministry of Internal Affairs also are part of this. So like comprehensive approach the government they take. One of the messages that we, the minister, talk to our family, that we all responsibility. You as well, and this is part of waiting the ministry, they continue, they build on, and the civic engagement part. Because the problem as well, like civic crisis. Now we all responsibility for protect each other. If we produce good citizens away free of drugs, we all the benefit from that. So if you see something, you know that you bring that drug, they can use responsibility also for you to the police. And for them follow up on it and they stop. Not to the people the way they use drugs to decriminalize, and the people the way they bring and can, they drug loads them, and all of that. I want to use the opportunity for just make one clarification to one question we get on the issue of foreign affairs, because we supposed to get the Minister of Foreign Affairs here. So there are questions about Saloni participation in ECOWAS with respect to the proposed, to the Niger situation. ECOWAS released a communique. Salon na an active member, in fact, His Excellency the President participates in the last ECOWAS meeting and fully endorse the content of that communique. Salon don't get a standing commitment for always contribute, for make we own contribution, including with respect to troops and otherwise, to ECOWAS, because ECOWAS belongs to the conclusion, so they will get a standing force. Salon don't always make a commitment that whenever that is required, Sierra Leone will mobilize with troops and equipment and for contributes as now with duty as a member of ECOWAS. Because of the history, of course, where Salon enjoy the benefits of ECOWAS, we even say as much more important for let we continue for support ECOWAS and be loyal to the conclusions of ECOWAS. I can confirm to una say that Salon in commitments to ECOWAS remains unchanged, and that when ECOWAS anything require Salon for be part of or contribute to any mission of ECOWAS as will be agreed by the heads of states, Sierra Leone remains ready to be part of that. So that are the one clarification, we'll get a bunch of questions that were meant for the colleague, the foreign minister, but I think I'm in a position to provide updates to her. Now I hand over to the civil society activist, Madam Khadija Bari. We will make a very short intervention, we only have 5 minutes, and then we will open up for questions and reactions. As I say, I did not acknowledge earlier on, with Brother Mike Ewadea from the Communications Director in the Office of the President. Any questions I get about government for the past week, and I can feel the impression and we can try to do this for response, or as I say, we'll make an announcement, we'll get the right answer and come back to her. Now, Khadija.
Thank you so much. Members of the participants, all present here and everybody who they watch from home or your offices, ministers, deputy ministers, greetings everybody. My name is Khadija Bari. Yeah. Why I discussed the issue of push? I vividly remember in May, I got off court around 5-6 a.m. by Barry for a certain program. And then there's just this certain amount of people, young man them and woman them, who choose to sleep. I can't see them asleep. Most of them hold something in their hand like food, where like you want to eat after you take the drugs, and then suddenly you just go down like that. We go to the point that around Kawayat, I tell my friends, I'm afraid of time, I'm afraid. So, in turn, watchmen's mind say, they need to be nothing, we see them so, they keep attacking, they feel anything. I was like, what? Like, wow. The majority. From my research yesterday, where did they read through and see what else does happen? Jusu Matia, when I am acting medical superintendent, and the resident psychiatrist say, about 60% of male them when they admit in hospital. About 60% when they admit, I'm not saying 60% of youth there. They're all go there because of push. So why this important? If about 60% of people whether they admit already they admit because of push, so much will go. The majority of Sierra Leoneans, we know say na young people. About 70% of the population are young people, like the ministers and that. But let's say Siba and Minister of Youth and Deputy Minister here, nobody also they be young, they will take other drugs and so they don't become ministers today. No. We get issues in where they cause them. True, government, family, everybody they contribute. We accept the ad and so on top of it. Salon may not say by last year we witnessed the rate we have as the second poorest in Africa, or is it the world, right? So because of the poverty rate, the lack of skills or employment, job, majority they say and say, if I go and just go get something where they make I feel relax and sleep, it will bring in, to reduce the stress and all. But then again, I'll come back. If you wake up from that sleep, you don't solve any of the problems. So we young people now. But we also need to think about this peer pressure, right? Some of them, they do it because of party, they tell them, they influence them, they do and bad. Just test them. Like I be the retro again, I told you I did research, actually did extensive on this thing. This garbage collector, whatever the interview I'm saying, and friends them, just influence and say, just test them, they pass through that. From then, when you start for take them, you only work for take, sleep, eat, lay down, grab back, take, sleep, just that. And we know how much you eat. And per day they spend about 200,000 millions, 200 millions in the drugs they take, which is, I'm not particular about push, because they take what I want, but we know we ever get this kind of rate in the country, what people in this, but she says it's no more safe for our brothers and sisters, like the way Kush is doing it now. Pampers water become and all of that. But suddenly all of it just like that go down and all. But why Kush just increase? It just go. Okay, if we come up from there, we look at family and environment, right? Family and environment. Most of them, if you go down the ghettos and talk with them and ask them why did you take this, In fact, who wins you? They were not raised by their family members. The society is harsh towards them also. And because of all of this, the defense side for both gets a solace. Let me rest. No one cares after all. If you want to take a decision in your life, when it's super major and all, no one is there to guide you and say, okay, do this and no, do this. Because today, if I want to take certain decision, I contact the mentor, or I contact SIBA, or contact any other person. I'm not saying they guide me. I'm not going to go ahead and take Kusho. It's not doing that. Because I'm not saying it destroy me. But do they know that? They didn't get that support. The legal system. Salon, they know it's in the obey laws. We most of the peaceful pass. Whatever you can think of, really. So we get lost so much where they even guide how you even work out, so we can say right. But he was saying there's so much crack. If there was not this crack and all, how come we get so much of it the important inside the country like that? Just coming in. These points that we're getting it. And as I was doing my research, a friend doing a medical person said, Khadija, what about you go tell them about the 2001 the medical act also? It's like, okay, so you talk to them about that. But they don't outdated. Government, medical practitioners, and everyone should come together and look at them and see if this is outdated. We need to upgrade it and look at it. What's an effect from push or other drugs? Let's say you have a family, friends, your loved ones, your relationship with them, they broke just like that. No one wants to be associated with people that are useless, as I will use the word. And let's say you want to get employment. Without employment, without sleep holding our office, they do nothing. You're not doing anything. No one will employ you. For your academic performance, all day you work now for like the garbage collector, sleep, eat, and all that. How will you improve? How will you get the grades? So, I actually had a speech. I'm not going over it. Only thing I will say is about these people, young men and women. By the way, we get young lady, maybe they're close to use how they live. When it's a push, like different type when they come out, they don't say stall. The lady, they vomit, so I'm sorry for the word, probably. But whenever we are seeing people around the left, it doesn't work like left. Rehabilitation centers. Do we have them? And okay, they're there. They give it to them to get everything. No. But there are a few people that are benefiting from it, right? Somebody asked Jan from Facebook, say, routine and 2 strategies where I'm going to use for this, if I use. First, I'll tell you awareness raising. That's education. Like Melissa was saying, we own the things that we want. I have a friend who always let us say, Jiba would say, no one owes you anything in this world. The moment we young people realize that Salion is poor, job then very scarce, you should be educated, whether it's you go through the formal way or you learn a skill, and then we get up and do it, we will not succeed until we reach at that stage. And you're not doing it for another person, but you're doing it for yourself, for yourself, for your family. This is the only thing. So awareness raising. Like you were saying, meet them, ask them. You think, say, if this continues till you're 50, how you go to hear you grandkid your other kid? Like, get them psychologically. Then the second approach could be rehabilitation. We already get people who are affected. There's no way we will let them out, right? The young people. The future of the country really get on these young people. Then we put them inside the centers where we rehabilitate them before they will bring them back to the community and make sure that they go about life normally. So, brothers, sisters, young people of the nation, being an advocate for a decade or so, whenever I see something where they pain each one of them, it pain me. I see yesterday I watched a video, see, woman them and some man them old placards and they go and shout, he do so. My sister and brother, they die by push. You do so, and people die because of it. Can we just stop taking it? We know it's poor, it's hard and all. But let's think another way to solve your problems than push. Thank you.
It's okay to clap, you know. I'm also a journalist there, I'm not supposed to clap, but it's not a message from the heart from a distinguished activist. We respect and we will really glad to say can grace this platform. As the minister said, much more effective way to come up from a young person. We are affected by this crisis because it affects one person as alone. They affect the all together. And I think this, the very passionate plea we Khadija don't make. Now one way I will assure the people of this country say the government is very seriously. This is a crisis that, the president don't commit to human capital development, to youth employment, to feed the country. We cannot harness all of that if we waste a whole generation to this drug crisis. So I will assure the people, let's say, we take this very seriously. We will continue to talk about it from different angles, and we will reveal more and more things that we will do as a government to respond to this. Now we'll open up for questions. Like I do last week, we take a round of questions quickly, and then we get some answers. The people within also I remind you, say, you're not part of the conversation. You can go slido.com and use the code hashtag 3782090, 3782090, and I've committed to this year. I will read each and every one of the questions that we get. So let me see the hands that are up. I'm going to do this side. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 in that order. When I do them fast, you say your name and you question, then you will help people get as many in as possible. And then you press the mic, we talk, and talk into the mic. So 1 first, no, this gentleman there first, you do number 3. This man there first, that man will be in the second, you do number 3, with the next day number 4. Go on.
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon to everyone. Menabodan Kamara, I write from New Citizen newspaper. The first question to the Minister of Youth. I'll take us to the ECOWAS project because the last time we hosted the Ministry of Information you did tell me how it don't transform the life of some youth. The election of President Bio, they don't promise 500,000 jobs or so for the youth. So one from the nature of the job, and we will see more of ECOWAS business or something, because we talk about empowerment, but for the individual more, right? Because empowerment you want for yourself, now you go wish to get for another person. Don't move to the agricultural aspect also. The availability of the tractors there, right? Of course, they are available, but the question here is how almost people are able to afford them, because they're going to the villages then. We can get club 1, 2, 3 village, they come together, they embark on farming. But the cost for the tractors there, even them produce, then times are by 4, they're not going to get the money for afford the tractor alone. So that's not the way I don't see how best we will put the price down for the tractors they have. So it will be beneficial for the young people.
Alright, so turn up your mic, or you just use the same mic, it's easier. Can you use this mic?
I'm Mohammed Kumar of the Washington newspaper. The question goes to the Minister of Youth.
Yes.
You talk of the counting the question, of which you talk about the cartel. Mr. Minister, 4 years of investigations about drugs in this country don't mean for 10 you say. 1, the people of this country no longer get confidence on theories and advocacy for drugs. You all know where it is coming from and you know how to stop it, but you couldn't do that. Now let's just complain. You know, say, the cartel you refer to is referred to the mafia world as the chain of command. The chain of command, it consists of all those people who dedicate their thousands of dollars or millions of go somewhere in the world for buying these drugs in large quantity. They get focused. Where? The focus, if they think of coming to Sweden, the first point of call is the customs department and the Sweden police. Then when they make the necessary arrangement to these people, the way they get for check them, they can easily come in. Not to me and you get for good and border. They are there 24/7. Then what should be done is for set up a counter surveillance team where we will see the independence of these customs and police for ensuring that this thing doesn't happen. That is the best way. I thank my sister for dedicating life so well and 20 years. I wish her good luck in what she's standing for. But if we don't go transparently, this problem will never solve. Let me come to the Minister of Information. If I talk, I'm going to ask you a question about the whole surveillance involvement in ECOWAS. Now, you know ECOWAS country consists of 16 countries. The two Lissabons, we got a lot of Francophones, and we got a lot of Anglophones as well. Now, the problem is that it seems that France they lose their power in their own former colonies. Guinea, Mali, Burkina Faso, and of course Niger are all Francophone countries out there. They get military war. Now, is it that this causes a lot of worries, for example, in the Lusophone and Anglophone countries, that if they don't, ECOWAS doesn't stop, if they don't take political action to stop them now, that virus will generate in other African countries as well, West African countries, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. All right, I would really encourage you all to keep this face then shorter and go straight to the question so we'll entertain more. By the way, thank you. I really like the question.
So, my name is Momelami Banya from AYB. I do want to take the cue from Bakamara concerning the ECOWAS and the police Guinea as well. So, you mentioned, say, of course, President Bio being a part of the ECOWAS committee, just like I say, the approval for sending to Niger. If you look at Sahel and Guinea, are two bordering continents, they're part of the Mano River region. And of course, Guinea will not give their support to Niger. I want to know, as a country, if we're concerned, because we don't plan for support ECOWAS, whereas Guinea as well don't plan for support Niger. Maybe that question therefore do with the lifts now you build it. You mentioned, say, I think last week or so, they can't press conference here because of the lift. Now, I see, apart from the Minister of Information, you building the host, most of governments in MBS there. I want to know when I intend for do that lifting. The other question again to go to you as well. I want to know the government in order-based plan. Also to the Minister of Youth, Madam Khadija just told approximately about 60% people there were in a psychiatric home the day because of kush. You also mentioned say okay about 21 substances there in the country. Women say that not only kush, they make people that go and fly. Sorry also. So I want to know because you also mentioned say you concerned as a government, when are concerned about what will happen in the country. Will I get any measures what are the type of put to ensure say all this stuff? Thank you.
Yes. I'll just use that because you close.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Suleiman is my name and I write for the Expo Times newspaper. Sister Khadija mention of rehabilitation. We know say in fighting drugs not only for eradicating the country, as a government, what are the mechanisms that they put in place in eradicating the drugs, those are already affected, which will they do towards them in terms of rehabilitation. Secondly, the Minister of Youth talk about agriculture. He said the current and future of Sierra Leone lies in agriculture as a government, and the next 5 years we are priority now for improve the agriculture sector. What are the mechanisms also they put in place for improve the agriculture sector in the country? And lastly, Minister of Information talk about providing 500,000 of jobs for the people of Sierra Leone, specifically to the young people, because we are the future leaders of tomorrow. It's been said for a long time now. Okay. We are in level. Thank you. We are in just of today. Those 500,000 jobs. What are the targeted people in, or how soon the youth of this country will expect for seeing 500,000 jobs in it? Thank you.
Alright, so I think one way this engagement here will work, we all learn together. and that if we all listen to the question, then so we not repeat the question where the procedure asks. So that we give more chance for them people to engage. We appreciate so much for the question, then we can't sign up for go to them, but I encourage and we keep questioning. Believe because we want to take as many as possible, but we also committed for done on time. So maybe start with one every day directly to me on the question of agriculture. When I want the last question, then we will bring the Minister of Agriculture, Chernor, in the next 2 weeks. All the top 5, the minister that they lead on the big 5, then we'll be in Ghana at some point, and then we engage on that. The minister will also say don't take some initial steps then, but he puts together a plan. And when you come here, he will answer that question in detail. What we tell people on the radio the other day is the best indicator of future behavior now past action. President's bill, he make education in flagship. People in a salon, including some of who in the civil society, will not be believed say it's possible for them to make the kind of commitment and achieve what he achieved. President's bill do unprecedented things with education in this country. We don't achieve gender parity, we don't increase investments in education, we get commitments say in the midst of all the crises, we will continue to spend at least 20% of our national budget in education. This same president don't look now at feeding the nation. He's saying Niger for being priority. I think the people of this country will be rest assured that that in nickname without targets, talk and do is a deserved one. So we know say we'll come to the plan. People that deserve to know all the things inside the plan and how to do them. But I just want to assure you and say down in our plan way. On the question of the lifts now you building, I can tell you say every one of the 10 ministries holding a U building, we're all concerned about this, we all don't complain. The Minister of Works, the Chief Minister, they don't make a priority. I think I can reveal now, say in the next few weeks, work on within this month actually, I was told, work on the elevator will start for fixer. This is not something we all don't attack, and even though with the government, I came here publicly again, this is not telling a new set of people, the new dynamism in governments. We own that it's a problem. I can't ask you to go clean me under 8th floor. So it's something that the government they take extremely seriously. And I think very, very soon we'll see an answer to that question. There are some questions around the ECOWAS question. Again, I'll be careful not for talk too much because of the Minister of Foreign Affairs not come. But I want to just say 2 things on that question around our relationships in the sub-region. Salone continue to enjoy excellent relationship with the country that we're in the sub-region. When I see recently the police and the military chief there, they mention how we do cross-border security. Any problem will be happening, people who want cause problem here, we work with people in Guinea and Liberia, we make that relationship is sacrosanct. That relationship we continue to enjoy. We are very comfortable with the relationship with the partners there, with the border we get the Mano River Union with an effective relationship where they continue to grow. In terms of how that relates with the work now, ECOWAS, each country they take your own stance we want to take with respect to the relationship with any international body. Salone, the headline is very clear. We're an active member of ECOWAS. We always don't maintain and keep the commitments. Whatever commitments with presidents, by the way, now be an active member and a leader who they look up to or champion because of his status as an international statesman, where we intend to follow through on their commitment in there. I think that now all are going to see on that question. Then pass now to the Minister of Youth, where we get plenty questions in for us, I don't say
thank you very much, Honorable Minister, and thanks for the journalists that were asked questions and specifically directed to me. I'll start with the one from Expo, the newspaper. We talk about agriculture and the 500,000 jobs. What if we talk about agriculture? Sierra Leone is one of the key countries in Africa where we get 6 months rain. And the land we get for agriculture and even we will not even use 20% of what we get. Why we say agriculture and entrepreneurship now the current and the future of this country now that access to finance, yeah, with the 500,000 job, private sector, check how much government will provide job for. The bulk of the job and when you create an enabling environment for the private sector to invest, and then at the trust one person you don't get, and this government don't get, and you get a lot of government. So when we talk about creating jobs, a multi-sectoral one, and when we talk about patterns, then the private sector are one, and other one we take them. Every newspaper measure to a lot of stuff, substance abuse. Not forget, when we talk about drugs and substance abuse, that give this basically. Even Yabas, we take 3 Yabas, they knock it over 6 hours. So this is substance. Down they polish. Yeah? Yeah? When you I want to explain let me attest I get over 20 almost substance then. And what are the combination of push?
By the way, sorry, there's a question about the chemical composition
of push.
And why we not do an analysis yet on that?
That's it. Initially, now be marshmallow. And marshmallow illegal. If you go to Amazon, you can buy marshmallow. As it turned 100%, when you use a marshmallow, and you give push. Now, technology, innovation, creativity. Now, kumbeyara. They don't improvise with marshmallow. So you see, kumbeyara is our community. That's really a strong statement. And as it turns, now illegal activity for everyone. So that's why we are pushing for community ownership in this. Even that Montamambono they talk about. You know why they don't go after the Montamambono they offline? Because they need to give them that inject. No way person die. Formalin, good. Offline, we die, then go bury you. Yeah, most people die, they keep you for long. That formalin kill that bone. So it has to be community owned and the position on that clear. Government is not going to stop all them saying, say nobody knows for plant no. But me and you for be each other's keeper, yeah? On the jobs then from citizen newspaper, yeah? He said if the job then we will expect, and then the one way we want now be the give. Now he will wish for them to give all of people.
He say if
car wash
job there or a different.
Car wash now be just one aspect of the job they work create. We perhaps now you know. I make mention of the eating fishery. I make mention of the $22 million where we and VNDP give last year. I make mention of the agriculture, entrepreneurship, and access to finance we create. Yeah? The jobs that we talk about now, I tell you one of the biggest focus we get, the current and the future, entrepreneurship and agriculture. How? Entrepreneurship and access to finance will ensure say young people will trust money with the basic degree for serve as a collateral. Where you know we can't trust money, say couch in papa house or auntie in house. Yeah. Somebody make mention of the cost of the taxes that I think like the same you. Only when we transform agriculture to a modern day agriculture we make it attractive and funky for young people for the attractive to them. But if we go back to the archaic way of war and cutlass, young people will never be attracted to it. Now that makes us view by tractors then. And today, in those days we struggle, we say you get tractor. Now tractors that are available, it's about how do you get the money for get them. And now people push towards entrepreneurship, like which one we group, we get access to 100, 200 million loans, which on a group, on a take. Agricultural loan for different from ordinary loan. Forget us of this space and forget all our weights of them. I think that are the questions then we all know okay. Watch newspaper say we all know who's like the source. Yeah, the source. You understand? So the chain of command where they talk about the drugs, where we talk about that one where they talk about not to in the factory. I will just show you the chemistry now, where in the factory. And one thing we don't do. You don't see how many containers they hold, how they destroy them, how many people. I mean, people don't give me statistics of young people that will be in prison today because of this government all into that. So now a collective effort, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Youth Affairs, and we already say how many TV stations, how many media houses they post every day say, don't take drug, wait take push, that these are activities. We all get a responsibility for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Some more questions are coming from online where I will try for response to quick and then we'll do the second round. One of them if actually from inside we Stephen they ask waiting a government commitment for create these 100,000 jobs per year for young people. Which industry sectors will we target with incentives and for private businesses for hire young people? Again, we will bring the Minister for Employment, but I just want to see the President in vision clear. I think from the President in vision, you will see an indication of the sector that we will target. Number one, for feed salary. So that means the agriculture is at the top of it. But in the big five, you also get hints at manufacturing, because you talk about 21st century skills and jobs and way they transform this country. Presently, we talk about innovation and technology. We talk about infrastructure as one of the other areas that we look at, and we talk about industries and really making sure that entrepreneurship, we can minister say as well, that young people be equipped with what they need for provide leadership in creating jobs that are relevant for this new age. But as I say, I promise you now, say the Minister of Employment himself will hire at some point where I'll be a partner and will come and talk properly on this. Some of the questions already online, I just want to acknowledge them and I will come over to now. Somebody they asked me the current status and future plans for NACID, National Council for Civic Education and Democracy. I'll tell them, say the plan that NACID is a big part of the ministry. We work with them now on making the transition properly and building a more comprehensive cabinet level agenda for civic education. But NACID will remain part and parcel of that. Somebody asked for emergency lines for report youth crimes, etc. Minister will note that. And then quite a number of questions were for foreign affairs, so I apologize to them people in now that will not take them one a day, but we'll try to come back to them. Mr. Bayo, I see you hand up.
Yes, I just want one more small to this drug thing because when I clearly come by profession, so I'm very passionate about this.
Why don't you come close so you take one microphone?
Okay, sir.
If the one and say we want to follow up, you will finally you can close up. So after Mike, I call this lady with her. Yes, you can use this one.
Okay. Thank you very much. Like I say, I'm very passionate about this whole drug thing because I'm a clinician by profession and I work at mental health centers in America, I work at detox centers, so I'm kind of familiar with what's going on. But clearly, when the minister try to explain what's really a kush, because I think we all get this whole thing mixed up. Like when they say kush, like something you just take, you can't even give young man them. Like how the minister said, a synthetic drug. What do I mean by a synthetic drug? Now make they make up. The substance what they take for make that drug they is available illegally, they buy them anywhere. So for let government try to tackle that, there is a new approach to it. When they fight drug in any country, policies they will need for review. My sister said do a little bit of research, they just learn from them, say the act says, oh, yourself as a lawyer, I believe say before we take any punitive measures, we have to review that act first. So government is very, very, very committed to this. President Bio is very, very committed to this. But the strong message I want for left here this afternoon and to all now, I see a lot of bloggers and then already on social media. We serve as a community, we serve as media people, we serve as practitioners in the media landscape. We get rolled up. Now they see people that they criminalize the people there. I don't see videos of people that they drive them in communities. This is like a danger pass for go after the people that will bring a camera in this country. Why is it a danger? These people that don't live in these communities, they don't take for their whole life. First of all, we understand say addiction as a mental illness, not sick. Now we know that first. Say addiction, not sickness. Now like when you get malaria, now like when you get tuberculosis, now like when you get any other sickness when you get. So them people, they are the greatest support what they need for letting recover, like community support. If we they go with a video them, put them on social media, say let them get them in a community, at the end of the day, what is going to happen? There is a difference between what they call guilt and shame. When you talk about guilt, guilt is intrinsic. If I get bad trick, if I want to change that bad trick, me guilt. Now they make us know and say this trick here I get it bad, I decide for change. I go change them. But if I shame, what is going to happen? At the open party when me and in the smoke that push day, at the end of the day, I isolate myself from that community, that recovery one need, that support what people will tap in at my back and tell me, say, you have a picture, you have a long way to go, you can do this, we believe in you, then I run away from them. And then people, let me tell you something, they are going to become enemies for that community. Because all of them give them, they hate that community. They go come back, then go to that community and cause mayhem because them people say they're not there together. So, my advice, well, just one for me, Honorable Minister. We were there. Let's stop for the public shame them people in there. If we see anybody that do that, Lord, call them out. These people need us. They need government. They need all of us for letting them recover. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't let me like this. Excellent public health message. Thank you for that. I think with the cut aspect of what you just said, put it out as a video because I think it's an important message. We'll come back next week with more on this question. Go ahead with the question.
Good afternoon, everybody in this house. My name is Fatma Conte, student for my camp, the ICAM Student Magazine. My question is, Mr. Minister, we try to stop this drugs abuse push and everything. I want to know if you don't try to get a dialogue with the police, the security sector, because I don't know like 3 occasions where the police people try to talk to the youths man the way they do them kind of work them. And the same one the way they join them for smoke the same drugs. And now that's for all them, now that's for try to talk to them, but the same people away for talk to them. Now the same people and they try to join them back. So I want to make them try to talk with the police.
Thank you for that. Next, the other lady, yes.
So this has again has a dialogue, awareness, and service. So for the past 4 years, that plan is and she said, they need anything. When they talk to them today, tomorrow, go to the same thing. So waiting at the family, waiting at the before.
Thank you for that. Let me see. I'm gonna have different voices. Okay, another lady. Sorry, we have to have more. But the first round was all men, so it's only fair. Next round, all women. Yes.
First, concerning and again, my say, reading my media network. The first question we go to the youth minister. At first, where the youth family start, we see many of Salon Western living inside the country. But as time they go, we know they see them Western again. And when we get dialogue with the young people and then they say, when they think how they less, people think credit time at the end of the day, they pay. So within the ministry, they do for them address such things. And same way, so the equipment they need. Some of them, when they go with them and then place things, they don't thief them. Now to the talking about mental health business, let's say mental health don't be raised up to the highest level. We talk about the 1902 Lunacy Act where they discriminate young people and even people where they live with a problem. So what in the government they do for say they change this act here so because we don't dialogue on this conversation for over years now. Every now and then they say that they review this act, but yet still they're not doing nothing in it.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We have a lady, yes. Go on.
Okay.
Use the mic, please.
Okay, good afternoon. I am Khadija to Chernor, and I report for Sky Radio. Sorry, I think so still in English. The question to the Youth Minister. Yes, I'm a bit concerned. Over the years, even though we don't see Usaya have done a good job to some young people, but what I want to know, is it just about giving job to young people, or we want to get a mechanism as to how that job will impact the lives of those young people positively? For example, we get this car wash project over the county. We don't see over the years, I'm not doing research, but for the side and way I don't go. In fact, I did like a meeting point for small push now. And we see how they behave and then can wash them. So I want to know what's the mechanism. Is it about giving job or is it about changing the lives? Thank you.
I'll take one more, and I'll take the gentleman from Epic Radio.
Press again.
All right. Good afternoon, Mohammed Jawad Nyale. So, Ms. Anissa, last week political did a report on Kush, and according to that story, West Africa Epidemiology Network shows the amount of people that now when they admit Nakisi as a result of Kush over the last 3 years don't go up by 2,000%, not 200. Not 300, 2,000% in the last 3 years. So, whilst the formula done the, whilst the chemistry for make Kush done the change, but this problem has been there for 3 years at the very least. So, but constantly the same thing we hear from government. We develop policy, and the problem is getting worse. And on the point of advocacy, you say the community then own advocacy, which is fantastic, but in the absence of government leadership in those communities, they are now taking the law into their own hands, beating, discriminating, driving people away from those communities.
Turn on the microphone, please. Thank you very much. So that will be the last question for today. I just want to say to family, one of the things that will change as well, and I know Mr. Jawad Nyale agree with me now, for not call Kisi mental home place home, I mental home, and like how we brothers say people we did it, now sick and sick just like how me and you can get malaria and all that. I think one of the things who they take responsibility for as well, because I'm civic education platform. I'm not saying nobody disagree with me, so that's why I feel to say that. At the pass over to the minister, one of the things why they also really try to bring up, they've done this press conference on time. So now again 6 minutes for try to respond to all the questions that we get right now.
Thank you very much. I'll start with the last question and go right away. You talk about government leadership and the type of advocacy we talk about. What will happen now to advocacy? Not awareness raising the one day. They call them victimization of the victims. Now double punishment. Which will the type of say advocacy? Now, way you able to build the person's self-esteem for it, you tell them what things right and what you're supposed to do. And that kind of thing they talk about. Yeah. Somebody talk about the job, the impact we didn't do. Car wash are just one aspect. The reason why when I focus on car wash are because now in the all over. But the essence of the car wash now is that those young people, when they don't victimize, when society don't ignore, and never get a meeting point. And will not create job for them. But today, if you go, I call them, like the bridge, go to us from college, they meet over 100 bike and keke in factory and net. In those days, when the car wash not be day, you don't ever get a day. So trust and confidence day in that one day. Like if you park your bike, you don't get set for park and go to another day, you park and go. Again, your negative, you get your positive things. Like we make mention, I will ensure say I follow up, like we say, I place for self-drugs also. We see that make mention say plan A no work. Put in plan B. I don't know which yardstick you use for say plan A no work. But the plan A, I'll tell you, is effective and it will work. Now because ministers in the country don't talk about drugs and substance abuse, where we push say that everybody talk about them, now that make you see say awareness is in day and people will know about them. Not to say the impact not there, the impact there. Now because we talk about them, because young people are different percent to talk about them, you don't know it. And we talk about data. This na past yes, it didn't increase, But at the same time, very soon we'll get status of heat reports. I don't get a development partner when I World Bank not report. You need to know, you need to play with data and know what's in the status on young people in drugs, agriculture, entrepreneurship, and all that one day. The final one we have to do with dialogue with the police. We are part of the police. We go to call community policing. Before this time, His Excellency the President, me, Minister of Peace, Minister of Internal Affairs, all the stakeholders then in substance abuse within a one room will strategize and do what you're supposed to do. Now, because of them one day, make anything and we make them awareness that day. But I will tell you, we know they do bad as compared to other areas. When we compare Sierra Leone on drugs, let me check America, Los Angeles. Let me talk about Guinea, Ghana. Let me talk about area, Liberia, Guinea. How drug don't turn all that thing. Nobody knows to talk about drug like Guinea. Nobody knows to talk about drug like how the cabinet minister they discuss what they beg one and say, let me take ownership in this. So because of what we don't do now, make people say everybody they do that one day. On that note, like when the minister give me 6 minutes, except otherwise I get all the questions. I just want to say plenty thank you. Except otherwise, I just want to say plenty thank you, and I will use this opportunity for saying the last message. Say, let me all journalists, them, media houses, them, newspapers, them, that you last corner, now you page, now you front page, put the effects of drugs, especially kush, not for take drugs, and that a way for payback to society. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. I want to just say quickly that on the question of the legal reforms we need on mental health, that's something we are not saying the minister and the government, the president also care about. I must work on start on that. But as I promised, either next week or the week after, we will announce in time, we will get the Minister of Health and we will get social welfare and the head of the mental facility will get, or Kanaya, we therefore get an in-depth press conference where we deal with this issue. Because clearly the interest is extremely high on this question, yeah? And as also they touch on the rest of society, and I'm both, I think, a news issue and a civic education issue. So now a perfect issue that may follow me, council. Let me come quickly to Khadija for in final words, and then we will close up.
First of all, like I said, I appreciate this opportunity I get. I'm not going to stop here. I write. I use social media for the your fact, and I see how it goes down. I will join and go down also. Because I'm from down being on my advocacy, so I'm going to just pass inside your social media world. One thing I want to let with you is Sierra Leone signed the SDGs. Goal 3, Goal 16, peace and health we may achieve them with crucial drug abuse still so high in the country. So to government, from a youth angle, I just want to say this. So long we committed to this. The time very close for make people submit reports in this and this we don't achieve. And in order for me to achieve them, for make sure that young people are really healthy, emotionally, mentally, and physically. To the young people, I must tell you, the government don't come to you, go to yourself. Okay, fight for yourself. Social media now, the way they make money. Facebook way they make money. Do YouTube, do whatever, videos of even you laughing and posting. Someday, somehow, you make money out of them. That way you empower yourself. Let these people come one day and say you do yourself, and you are who you are because of you, not only them. Let's stop depending on only them and other people around us. Like my friend always say, no one owes us anything, but we owe ourselves everything. Thank you so much.
All right, excellence. On that very high note today, I'm going to tell our plenty thank you, I'm particularly tell the media partner, the MAYV SLBC. I'll acknowledge the Director General of SLBC Naya. Thank you very much for welcome. Joseph and Brenda Kapua, ASQ. We get plenty of partners that will support community radio. All the community radio stations there across this country, they carry it live. I'm for plead with the journalists every day. I say, at the last slide on that, PowerPoint already up, so and I ask you to control that slide and move on to the last slide. You get a form, they will ask you for use a QR code and fill in. It will take less than 5 minutes of your time. Or you also give feedback on both the content and the style and any information we want to give on this press briefing today. Next week, sharp 2. We will be back. We can send this link as well for this form to you. We'll put on our page there and I will comment on our feed for the family of our host. We really want to lead from now. Again, on how we will make this platform here better for we all and for increase the quality of this conversation. We tell please thank you to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. We will host you for now until we fix you building. Thank you all for following and listening from home and see you again next week, inshallah. Thank you.